just arriving here in Boca Raton. Old client of mine that we've done some previous work for in the past has had some issues, and meeting some of the boys here that are constantly just, you know. You see that? So that right there is just showing you like the moisture on the floor, and it's all soaking wet. And you can smell it in here.
So the water that runs soap right now.
So it's gotta be coming from this side, because this is all soaked right here. So I think the other side is the bathroom. Alright, so then this is where it's coming from. Right here, you can hear it. You can hear it. Yes, I'm almost positive. Yep, sure enough. So here, this is part of the issue. So we've got a...
That shows the water?
It shows, yeah, well, it shows the temperature differential, which typically should indicate water. Yeah, see that? Look. So capture that water there. And you've got water right piled up right here.
Where's that now?
Yes.
Behind the toilet is lifting.
This is the actual pipe that's leaking, I think. This is all dry. The mold is dry. So it's got to be the interior of the wall somewhere is where it's leaking. So that's why the back end of the closet is all wet. The carpet is wet, and this side of the baseboard on the opposite side, it's all shower. Yeah, so this is reading 100%. We're 85% right now. Wet. So that was it. Alright, so just leaving this Boca job. I know that I walked away from the camera a few times while I was on the phone with the client. But at any rate, sounds somewhat promising. I think that there's a 90% chance of us being in here as early as this upcoming week. And again, like, my pricing is really, you know, as competitive as I can make it, just because, again, these are clients that, you know, have done business with me in the past, and I'm, you know, obviously very considerate when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know, you can never bite the hand that feeds you. On the flip side of the scenario, you can't slit your own throat just to be a nice guy, you know what I mean? I mean, you can't, you know, you can't put yourself on fire just because someone else is, you know, just to keep somebody else warm. It's just, it doesn't quite make sense. It's a cool little saying my wife says. Anyways, I make the worst videos because they're like so all over the place. But anyways, so now heading back to West Palm. Probably gonna meet with the client here shortly, and yeah, just pick up the day. So from Boca Raton today, got guys taking care of all the demolition. We may have a change order on the book because all of the exterior wall is fully saturated. Now we're making it down to Miami. Gonna do a quick estimate here, and then from there back to Boca, and then from Boca to Port St. Lucie, and it's gonna be a busy day. Just so that you can see, this is how easy this wood is coming out. You can actually see the moisture on the blade. Right. Okay? So all of this is saturated. All of it. Okay? That's the plywood sheeting. That's the plywood sheeting. Same thing on this side. Okay? You've got mold growth all on this. plywood, all this right here as well, it's all shot. All of that has to be replaced. And my suggestion would be, so that we don't run into this issue again, like just go straight from the top, because that back corner over there, we don't know. That's the problem. You know, this is the main problem. So we've got a couple of problems here. We've got a problem over here, and then a problem on this corner of the house, which, if you remember, gave us an issue back in the day, a few feet this way. Remember?
Correct. But my question is what I told her dad there, faces the window. I said it's a vault the window.
It's not.
Which is roof, right? Which you just told them.
Correct. It's roof. It's not the windows. And look. So, all right, let me show you right there, which is basically half of the window, right? Which is exactly where all this issue is coming from, right? So this is an issue here. And then over here on the far corner as well, we're able to see, now that we have a good bird's eye view, this corner is basically failing as well. Okay? Right. So then we also have, you know, some spots here on the fascia which are questionable. And again, like I told you, the fascia we're already taking care of, so it's not a change order on that. That's just part of what we're doing. But unless we address the core of the issue, you know. Wrapping up the first day of the demolition, there was a lot done in a singular day. Let me show you what we've done so far. So all of this carpeting was removed. Wall, baseboard, wall here. Over in the bathroom side, there was behind these tiles, there was actually a leak in the wall that was causing all of this damage here. All of the papering went down. Carpet was covered with plastic just to protect everything. It was covered with plastic just to protect everything. We've got all of this portion. The exterior was demoed. Now this whole thing is going to come down. This entire wall is going to be brought down, and then a brand new one is going to be built back in. A couple of reasons for this. Number one, the wood is extremely shot. The integrity is gone. You've got so much rotting here that there's no point in even trying to sand it down, because literally it's just totally wet and you could pick at it with your finger. So all of that was done. Air scrubbers aren't running right this second. And then after we're done with all of this demolition, we're still gonna have to do a full sanitization. Literally every surface is gonna be wiped down. We're gonna have to probably bring an ozone machine in here just to kill any potential microbial growth. And yeah, that's it. But there's like so many different areas in this property that it didn't make sense to set up a bunch of different containments because it's all affected. This whole area also, going all the way up, had to be removed. Kitchen. This area, ceiling. We got this area here. We got this area in the kitchen. Then we've got the garage. It's this area. This area, and all of this area. So quite a bit of work that was done. So yeah, so we were able to get very aggressive with the amount of demolition that was done. And then we're gonna have to kind of backtrack a little bit and just re-sanitize everything. And sometimes it's just easier to work that way. It's easier just to go ahead and get the demolition done, especially if you have a property that has a bunch of different areas. Sometimes it's easier to just go in, you run a couple of air scrubbers, it's no big deal, just to kind of get the brunt of the hit while you're doing the demolition, and then just run with the demolition and then just go behind after everything is done, then do all of the cleaning, all of the sanitizing, run the air scrubbers, do what's called an air wash. a lot of times we think about water damage, we think about mold, and really what we think about is just the interior walls. We're thinking about, you know, what kind of damage could happen to drywall, to baseboards, potentially to ceilings. What we don't think about most of the time is the amount of damage that water can cause if you have wood framing in plywood, or essentially a wood exterior, right? So so what I'm showing you here is a water leak, which you can see all of this plywood has been rotted out. 2x4s rotted out, and essentially we had not only mold on the inside, but all of the plywood was essentially rotted out, and there was no way to properly sanitize that and bring this back to a new standard. So essentially what had to happen is the entire back wall had to be removed and replaced with brand new material. All right guys, so I'm just getting here to Boca Raton. We just finished up a full restoration project about 2 or 3 days ago. Gonna be meeting with a client. They were away in New York while we were giving them the final touches here on this property. So essentially the major cause here on this particular project is that they had several roof leaks throughout the entire property. At the same time, they also had a situation where they had a bathroom leak. So in other words, there was like a million and one things going on with this one property. We had to redo the kitchen, redo a master bathroom, redo an entire exterior wall. There was a lot going on in this particular project, which is one of the reasons why I find it so interesting, because it was a good case study as to how many things could possibly go wrong in a single property, and things to learn and things to look for in a remediation company and a restoration company. All right guys, so let me give you a little bit of a walkthrough on what we were able to do here. Essentially this entire kitchen was redone. There was a leak back here in this general area, and basically all the cabinets were ruined, so we had to completely do this whole area all over again. This breakfast nook as well also had some pretty crazy issues. This entire wall was taken down, all of the baseboards along the window, as well as this portion of the ceiling. Over here, we also had to tear down this entire portion of the ceiling. Over in the living room, this wall was completely reconstructed as well. Back here, the ceiling all the way, this entire area was also redone. And then here, we also had some work that had to take place. Carpet had to be torn out, ceiling had to be replaced, walls had to be repainted, everything had to be redone here. And then this bad boy was also a major portion. Carpet needed to be replaced, the drywall was all removed, baseboards were put back in again, and then of course the master bathroom, brand new flooring, brand new tile, vanity was installed. This entire powder room was removed, and everything is brand new. Toilet, baseboards, walls, everything here was rebuilt, brand new mirrors, glass enclosure. All of this had mold behind it, this entire wall as well. So yeah, everything is good. So we basically tried to keep it uniform as far as color, so that everything would kind of blend together with the pre-existing tub. So we kind of also brought in part of the kitchen, if you will, to kind of give it a little bit of, a little bit of flow. And here we also had ceiling that was totally removed, and this entire back wall literally was totally demoed to where you could literally walk in and out through this wall. So that's all been taken care of.